Good morning. Welcome to my garden, Lilac Hill. I want to share today a few things that are in bloom because the season is going over quite quickly with all the heavy, hard rain we've had. So the blossoms are finishing faster than they would if the weather wasn't so rainy. I'm on the side of the hosta enclosure to share the ligularias. They were in the ground in the chicken run garden for all of last season, and they really suffered with slug damage last year. They aren't suffering now. Look at all that new growth. So the ligularia is probably Britt Marie Crawford. I don't have a tag. That's how old the plant is. It predates the tag collecting. But the plant is no longer being attacked by slugs. And it just looks really nice. I've missed this plant being in this pot. Excuse me. It's been in this pot for over 20 years. And I love the pot color that picks up on the plant. And then in the winter, I've just put it underneath the sun deck. So I've managed to make some baby ligularias from it. So I think overall this is really nice, and I can build off this display. We just got a load of gravel delivered. So this area here will now get landscape papered up to the bricks, and then the new gravel put down. It's a base gravel. It's not a decorative gravel because decorative gravel is really expensive. But we'll put down a base gravel over top of the landscape paper, and then we'll sprinkle it with the decorative. Excuse me. Oh, early morning. Okay, hydrangea's looking nice. These are my two chrysanthemums. I was really thrilled with this one this year. This was one of the ones from the plant sale. The lady said it was like a mauve, and it turned out to be yellow, but then it faded to mauve. So that must have been when she potted it up, went in the fall, because that is a yellow chrysanthemum. And my Aunt Sandra's chrysanthemum cutting always does well in its frost-proof pot. My pots have all come from a place called Art Naps in Port Coquitlam, which is no longer in business. And every year they would sell these big ceramic pots at 75% off. So I've gotten probably about 10 of them over the years. Frost-proof, expensive when they're full price, but nice when they're on sale. And this one is a butterfly pot, and in it is my tree peony. And the tree peony has no less than 7 flowers on it. Buds. And there's one right there. There's a really big one up at the top. Yeah, that's a nice big flower bud up there. And I do not prune the tree peony. I only cut the flower stalks off. So all of this is its new growth from last year. All of the paler stems are new growth. And if it does have a dead stem, like say for example, I can obviously cut this if I wanted to. You could cut this. There's one piece right there. So I could cut this. But I would never, ever, ever cut this. I would never cut any of this lower growth at all because I would be afraid that I would stop the plant from, goodness, you are putting on lots of growth, stop the plant from growing again. You can deal with cross canes and things, but you know, really, it's an old plant. It's not the most attractive legs, but it's just, the flowers are incredible, yellow. So if it wants to have a few cross branches, it's allowed. There's another one right there. So it's going to be full of flowers in a couple more months. At the base is a columbine from Eileen, and it's a kind of a darker purple gray. Interesting columbine. That's a very old heuchera, probably the green tea. And in the base of this plant, I put the nasturtium called Bloody Mary. So I did 5 seeds, then I waited about 10 days, and I did about another 10 seeds, waited, and then I'll do another sowing. And I think that's them there, but it's hard to tell what's weed and what's baby plant. So I'm just gonna have to wait till the nasturtium really shows itself. And then I'll go in and weed if it's clover, just to give the nasturtium stronger chance and the clover doesn't take over. So a lovely plant in a very beautiful pot. So there's really a lot going on. So I won't film the hosta enclosure today because it would take another probably 20 minutes. But there's Jacob's ladder in there, and there's GM. But this plant, I'm just going to zoom in. It's called a macadamia. I've never heard of that before I bought it. And it was just a little toss away in the clearance section. So that gives me some interest and maybe something that someone else doesn't have. But there's a lot of plants in the hosta enclosure, so that's a video for another day. Nice to hear the bird song. And I get a little morning sun, which is unusual. This garden is normally, stays in the shade for so much of the year. But now, as you can see, I got some morning sun coming from behind me. I've been painting my structures, little obelisks and decorative plant supports, black with trim clad with a paintbrush, because I need to have nice, clean, pretty features for the tour. And this plant is, or this obelisk is going in this pot, which is called my dragonfly pot. Finally, because I got a big black pot when I moved the dwarf arbutus into its big teal pot. This dragonfly pot was a gift from many years ago. Again, another frost proof. Plants don't die in the frost proof pots. Expensive again, but worth the investment. And I'm going to fill that with scarlet runner beans. So I think that's going to be fantastic. Just load it up. And then at the end of the season, this is a liner now. And I can figure out a way to get that out. And then I'm not potting up the ceramic pot. This is another ceramic pot I got from my mom. I found a liner perfect. So now I'll be able to put something fancy in there for the tour. And Carmen de Clematis is just one of my oldest plants. Just comes back. And I put this one on this side in a blue ceramic pot. And I'm kind of doing a bit of a blue theme here for the tour. Probably do some other blue. I've got some more blue, cobalt blue pots that can go in this area for the tour. Clematis are all being pruned. I'll show them when they're got their buds, or they're in bud. I'll show them when they bloom. Again, that's kind of part of the hosta enclosure. This is called the main bed. And there's so many plants coming up now. Peonies are all up. The supports are up. My currant finally woke up. I thought it was not going to live, but it did. Yeah, so lots of things are coming out of the ground, but it's being cold. We had frost again last night. The gravel will go in here now because this is a step down, and we don't want that for the tour. So we'll get all this gravel refreshed. And of course, I'll use my leaf blower and get rid of all the brown now. Look at this. Diana Clare pulmonaria. Isn't that a beauty? This is another unique plant that I haven't seen anybody else have. It was a mail order plant. It's either from Vesey or Brex in the east. And behind it, a nice surprise. Well, other than my beautiful little fern unfurling, the hellebore has been just loving its new home here. That was my toss away hellebore. But look, that is a mayapple. And that's from my friend Joyce. So thank you, Joyce. Burnham, Stilby. The snowdrops are finishing. Another ferns unfurling. Look at the way they unfurl. It's so interesting. Okay, well, I can't spend all the time in here because I want to share some other things. Pulmonaria. Okay, oh, in this plant, this is a Heraculatum maculatum, also known as a leopard hawkweed, and it's very invasive species. But I grow it for the foliage, and if there's too many, I'll pull them out. But so far, it's not that invasive. It's kind of got interesting, and it comes up in nooks and crannies, like it's come up against this old log. Yeah, so lots going on. I'm waiting for my Regersea to come out, and I think that might, is that a plant or a seed? No, that's a seed. I'm waiting for the Regersea, so I hope it survived the winter. Look at the Mahonia. And this area is not been cleaned deliberately, because I consider this to be a wild habitat, and I want the little creatures to come out of hibernation, and then I'll go in and clean all the leaves and show it, case it by the tour, which is in June. Yeah, so rhododendrons. Lots coming up. Oh, and I have 2 imperial crown lilies down there, so I'll show them when they're further along. And azalea, the Western Light series. My 2 roses, so far no deer damage. Hybrid tea called Pretty Lady from the Downton Abbey series of roses, putting on lots of growth. And then the Rosary de la Haye shrub rose. And these roses, I would like them to sort of mesh together and be almost like a bit of a barrier through here. And all this won't be here for the tour. This is just my attempt to keep the deer out. This lilac, I'm going to turn around. I don't really want to film the neighbor. Get through here. So I'm trying to get to my, here it is, coming into view. Look at this Doronicum, also called leopard's bane. And it is huge. It keeps going. It's all the way back there. Terry's got some sticks that I think I'll put around it, stick and string, to give it some nice support so it doesn't fall over in the coming months. But it'll open probably another week. And I got forsythia back here. I'm not going to film too much because I don't like to tip up the camera and film the neighbor, but there's a little bit of lilac, forsythia, holly, all plants put in to be a windbreak. And there's my lovely lemon cypress from my mom, the inspiration for the Chicken Run cypress, because that one came through winter, and that was a little patio plant that outgrew her container, so she asked me to rehome it, and then I knew it did well, and I knew that it came through winter last year, so that's why I bought lemon cypress for my hedge. And here's a lilac. It's supposed to be white, but that's all right. Maybe it'll open white. It doesn't matter as long as it's healthy and it's growing. I have low expectations. It's a difficult property with all its rock and cold, and it doesn't get a lot of morning sun till quite late into the season. So I have to buy plants that will take those conditions. The spirea looks really beautiful. Look at the color on the bronze spirea. It's not called bronze spirea, but I'll get the names when I film. I do a proper filming of the this main bed. I'll have all my plant names because things are just starting to come up. But look at this monkshood. Hello, wild geranium. This is an interesting plant. That is a ground clematis. Okay, so I want to share the cherry tree and finish up for this morning because I got lots to do. The big pile of gravel. Terry and I will start to prepare beds and get ready for the gravel spreading. Yes, because all these, till Terry lays the other patio and gets a cutter to do these halves, like a half brick on a saw, we have to fill these in with gravel. So this whole area is getting all refreshed. pull back the decorative rock, put down the base layer, and put the decorative rock back on. And there's the beautiful currant. Yeah, so for a garden that doesn't get a lot of morning sun, I think it looks pretty good. The peonies are really coming up. Hyacinths. Gorgeous. And I noticed my hyacinths in pots are all a bit floppy. And I think that's because the soil is too rich. So when these hyacinths by my doorway finish, I will be putting them in the ground. But look at the color with the sun. The sun comes up just over Terry's workshop there and then shines on the garden, but it moves differently through the horizon, and I'm finally getting the sun higher, so I'm getting more morning sun. The peonies, aren't they amazing? Yeah, they're enjoying the morning sun because I was worried that the glass house was going to block the sun. It does, because this is actually a little bit more shade now in the afternoon because of the building. Oh, they look so beautiful. Just love this. I'm enjoying the sun in the morning. Okay, let's make our way down here for our last look at the cherry tree. Now I'm going to have a shadow because the sun's behind me. Lilac lavender lady. It's my big showcase lavender now. Bought from Canadian Tire. Oh, and that teal pot that's in the background there has bee balm. That's where the pot with the scarlet runner beans is going to go. That'll look fantastic on the hill. And there's my sign my cousin bought for my birthday last year. Look at the size of the dandelion coming up in the euphorbia. Yeah, you don't think I see you? I see you in there. Campanula. All right, this was the beautyberry finishing its flowers. These just fall off. Okay, I just want to end with my cherry tree, but I'm just enjoying these spireas in bloom coming down the hill in the rock creek. We've got a gate for the end of this pathway, and I put a bunch of mint in here on my steps and thyme. Fennel. Back up the hill, the big forsythia. Trying to avoid the boat. There's my lemon cedars. Doing so well. I'm gonna step down so I can film my cherry. And there it is. My beautiful cherry. Gorgeous. And then the lemon cypress hedge. So thank you for watching.